So we're going to bring on Tim Schmidt. He's the president and founder of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association. I mean, who else better to talk about this? Tim, welcome to the show. And I know you probably have a lot to say about how these politicians instantly turn around and go after concealed weapons carry, long gun ownership, even the bump stock thing, which, you know, I'm kind of torn on that. I don't really care one way or the other. I don't think most of these politicians realize that this guy had trained enough and was shooting semi-auto and getting his target, effectively in the crosshairs instead of just praying and spraying. He probably would have doubled or tripled the amount of people that he killed.
Hey, good morning, Jonathan. Thanks for having me on the show. And you're dead on right there, which, if anyone, you would know that. I mean, bump stocks are so poorly manufactured. They're made to fit a whole bunch of different rifles, and they instantly destroy accuracy. And quite frankly, if you use them too much, they're going to burn out your barrel. So, I mean, but this isn't about bump stocks. I mean, you just mentioned it before. This is all about feel-good politics.
Yeah.
You know, these guys in Washington, D.C., they really don't know anything what they're talking about. They just want some quick fix. And to the point you said before, you know, look at the cities in our country where the violence and the killing is the worst. Of course, it's the cities that have the most gun control. It's Chicago, it's D.C., it's Los Angeles. And the other big fact that people continually, neglect is that, good citizens, responsible gun owners use guns 1.5 to 2.5 million times every year to stop rapes, to stop assaults, to stop murders. And we're talking one by one. So look, yes, firearms are tools that can be used for good and for bad. But man, if you look at the numbers, they're used a heck of a lot more often for good.
Yeah.
Than for bad.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think when it comes to carrying a concealed weapon, the government, if they really wanted to make this country tremendously safer against gun violence, they would pursue an armed citizenry and pursue not only getting more people to carry concealed, but putting back into schools. There was a time, I know people don't realize this, there was a day and age when gun safety was taught in high school.
And guess what? Back then there were no shootings in school.
That's right. That's right. And people carried, my buddy Dave Robinson from West Virginia was telling me about, and he's not that old, he's my age, he's in his 40s, how they used to carry, I'm from Arkansas, but even I don't remember this, but in West Virginia, they used to carry, like they would go hunting in the mornings and bring their guns to school with them and put them in their lockers.
Oh man, I wish that's the way it was now. Although let me tell you this, Jonathan. So I'm so excited because I do believe that there is this rebirth and almost like an emergence of new responsibly armed citizens. So I got a bunch of employees here. Average age of my employee are 28 years old. So these are the proverbial millennials that everyone rips on. Well, let me tell you what, man. Almost every single one of my 28-year-old kids here that answers phones and does work at USCCA, they carry guns. They train on a regular basis. I mean, they're the kind of Americans that I want to be around. And I was just looking at so I live in a little town called West Bend, Wisconsin. There's 165 kids on the trap team. I mean, how awesome is that, right?
Right. Wow. You know, here's the thing, and I'd like to talk to you about a little bit about this. Forget the politics for a second. Those people out there that want to carry concealed, or the people that already have their concealed license, let's face it, the majority of people don't get adequately trained. That's where one of the biggest problems exists. They buy a weapon, they carry it, they put it in their purse, they put it in their car, and they never train with that weapon. One of the reasons, because ammunition is expensive, it takes time to go to a range. I have an opinion about airsoft. And I have a feeling one day airsoft, again, will become illegal. They're going to go after this stuff. But airsoft guns and the technology that is advanced, you can get good airsoft pistol for $200. Ammunition costs next to nothing. And you can do realistic drills. You can get used to firing from the holster and working emergency situations out, practicing with this. What's your feeling on that?
So first of all, I'm 100% in agreement with you that training is a lot like eating and bathing. It's best results when done on a regular basis. And for people to say that, wow, ammunition is too expensive, I mean, that's just a cop-out.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, first of all, you can do mental training. You can do mental simulations in your head. That's 100% free. Next thing you can do is you can buy a SIRT gun that I have in my hand right now, which you can get a gun that simulates the exact gun that you carry, and you can do dry fire training.
Yep.
Or what you're talking about the airsoft or the simunition rounds. The simunitions are expensive, but airsoft is inexpensive. And so, yeah, there's all sorts of opportunities to put yourself in a regular training regimen so that you will be able to act when you're in that situation. You're forced to defend your family.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's very important. I think people that don't realize this, like even I had to learn a lesson when I was in the FBI, coming from, being in the SEAL teams. An air marshal kind of hurt me a little bit because I can't go completely into it, but you're all concealed there, right? You're undercover when you're on a plane, so you have to be inventive the way you're going to carry your weapon. I ended up inventing a holster that I was going to have it manufactured, but I ended up getting another job and dropped that project. I still have the holster, but when I went in the FBI, same thing. I'm on the street. I was on a street crime unit, and so I carried an in the pants collapsible holster. So when you pull it out, it was fabric, and I got into a situation which I talk about in my book, Sheep No More. I had to draw down on somebody. And in a situation where a guy had a gun, I pulled the gun out. It was two people. I draw down on one. I grab the other guy. The one guy runs. So now I've got this guy in my hand with a Glock 21, which is about as big as a donkey's femur. And it's so, I'm trying to holster this thing in a holster that is collapsed against my side. And this is where, when we go to the range, we train with an out-of-the-pants leather holster, and we don't train with the holster that we carry a lot of the times. And These are lessons that even I had to learn myself because I put comfort over operational capacity when it came to this collapsible holster. Training is so important for people, especially if you've never had any training whatsoever.
Yeah, well said, and I'm very familiar with the Glock 21. That's a big, beautiful gun shooting a big old bullet.
Yeah, the way I explain it is, it's similar to the way I'm sure that in the Bible when I think it was who was it that pulled the jawbone of a donkey out and killed like 1,000 people. That's what you're wielding some power when you pull out a Glock 21. It's noticeable, very noticeable.
Well, Lee, I just heard you mention a book. So I'm on Amazon right now. I just pre-ordered your book. It looks fantastic.
Awesome.
When's it coming out?
It comes out December 12th. We're going to try to get it out before then. Don't know if we're going to be able to, but this is a book that, I've compiled all the stuff I've learned in the SEAL teams and in contracting and in the FBI and put it in to help people learn that they can target themselves. It goes right along with this stuff about carrying concealed. It's the same way. If you stick a gun in your purse or in your pants or in your car and you don't train with it, you're going to be surprised when you have to use it how hard it is to handle that weapon.
Oh, amen. Well said.
Yeah. What is your prediction on the Second Amendment, and do you think that with this latest, and maybe I'm wrong here, but it seems like the politics rose up big time and then it kind of calmed down very quickly, and that's not normal. Normally they're going like crazy after that. Yeah,
you're right. That's a great point. I'm a little surprised that this week is not nearly as hot and heavy as last week. I was a little surprised that the NRA came out and kind of quasi-support of further restrictions on these bump stocks, and I'm with you on the bump stocks. I mean, they're kind of a goofy, a goofy accessory that honestly, I've got 180 people I work with here. I don't think anybody owns one, and there's guys that own a dozen ARs. So, but on the principle alone, I do not think it's a good idea to legislate to say that, oh, this piece of plastic is illegal, because now we're just going down the slippery slope. Next thing you know, who knows? Now you're only going to be able to have a revolver or some crazy thing like that. And the Democrats, they admit that that's their strategy. So, gosh, I have to admit, Jonathan, I'm I'm a perpetual optimist. I think that to run a business or to do what you do, you kind of have to be like that to keep your sanity. And there's a lot of bad things, but man, there's a rebirth, a resurgence of people that are okay with guns. And I think maybe that's one of the reasons why I think it's died back a little bit, because there's a lot of people on the left that, man, hey guys, I don't want to lose my gun because I'm going to use that to protect my family.
Right. About the NRA, what worries me about that is if the NRA makes nice with the left and says, okay, listen, we'll work with you on bump stocks. It's not like the left. Like we were talking about Hollywood earlier, it's not like the Hollywood is going to start going to church now on the weekends because Harvey Weinstein's out of Hollywood. That ain't going to happen. They didn't learn anything, right? Well, the left, if the NRA makes a deal with the left is then going to say, well, what about those semi-automatic pistols? We should get rid of those too.
Exactly. And
that's where I think the NRA has gone down a slippery slope.
Yeah, and so many people don't even understand that. What is a semi-automatic pistol? Well, it's practically every goddamn pistol that's out there.
Exactly. I mean, pretty much a fully auto pistol is something that somebody has modified. I guess they make them, but I've never shot a fully. I don't know why you would want a fully automatic pistol, but yeah.
Maybe something to play with at a carnival, but that's about it.
Yeah. Listen, brother, anything else you want to? How do people find you? What should they? How do they get a hold of you all for the U.S. Concealed Carry Association?
Well, hey, my mission in life is to create more responsibly armed citizens, and if somebody out there is listening and wants to be able to be that first line of defense for their family, just go to USCCA.com and we'll help them down that path. Let
me ask you real quick before I go. What do you think? Do you think it could ever be possible that we could legislate somehow where they have, like I think in high school there should be, and in college for that instant, for the same reason, there should be. Jury duty should be a mandatory class because, listen, if I have a case, I'd like to have 12 educated people in how a court system works. That should be a mandatory course. And then also weapons safety and just a class on the Second Amendment. Why? I don't understand why we don't have those. But do you think that would ever be possible?
Oh gosh, that would. I think I remember having a dream about something like that a few nights ago.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, I feel the same way.
My kids are taught that stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's probably where it's going to have to come from. That'll be the one homeschool class everybody can teach. Hey, listen, God bless you, Tim. Tim Schmidt, president and founder of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association. Thank you for all that you do, and good luck and be safe and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Jonathan. Honored to talk with you.
You got it, my friend. This is Jonathan Gillen filling in for David Webb on the David Webb Show on Sirius XM Patriot Channel 125. Hey, listen, follow Tim Schmidt's lead